Hello, it's so good to see you. Welcome back, or welcome if you're new. I'm Ines, and today we will be talking about it girls and what makes them it girls. I hope everything's good. I hope things have been happening the way you've been wanting them to go. For today's video, I thought it'd be interesting to talk about five it girls from different time periods and see what makes them it girls, key takeaways, and what exactly their style is. And speaking of it girls, I thought this would be the perfect video to tell you about a new it girl brand I have discovered, which is Aest Studios. It's a woman-led and woman-created brand which focuses on the fusion between functionality and design. And they so kindly gifted me their Capture Medium bag, which I think is beyond beautiful. It's so perfect. It was created as a fusion, as I said, between functionality and design, and it was created to be this perfect in between of a camera bag and a beautiful fashion statement. And the design of this really showcases it. You can tell that literally each and every element of this was crafted with intention and attention to detail and design. Each metal detail has the brand's name on it, which by the way, is a beautiful name. The logo's beautiful. It's in braille. It has double zippers and a magnetic latch. Once opened, it has this metallic flap for extra security, lots of different compartments and little pockets on the inside. And honestly, you can just tell it's been made of such high quality materials and with so much intention. I feel like I'm mentioning the same words again and again, but they're really the keywords to summarize this beautiful brand. They are high quality leather purses at, at a fair price. And by the way, you'll be able to benefit a further discount if you check them out in the link in bio. And I would really recommend checking out Aest Studios. I see great things for them. Even if you're unable to purchase the bag at the moment, check out their Instagram. They have beautiful products. And I am so content with my She Capture Medium bag. I think it is beyond beautiful. I've been wearing it non-stop since I received it. Now let's head straight into the video. Today I took up 5 different it girls, most of them it girls at the moment and 2 of them past slash current it girls. And let's get straight into it, starting with the very iconic Jane Birkin. Rest in peace. She has been for so many of us a style icon, and due to her beautiful take on a casual but kind of out there look, she has mastered the basics. She knows how to pull off a good basic. And I thought I would walk us through her style, starting with her type, the type of woman she is. I would say she has more of an androgynous style, or more so, she likes to shift between a more classically feminine and a more androgynous look. And she's very natural. She very often seems like she just picked up her clothes and was right on the go. If you look at the Kibbe and style types, one would say that she's more of a flamboyant gamine, which makes her a sassy, chic dynamo with long vertical lines and a straight figure, which kind of goes into this androgynous but still somewhat feminine look I mentioned. And the Kibbe style, honestly, I don't really know exactly what I think of it. I think it can be really interesting, and I'd love to get analysis done of me. If I'm not mistaken, 6 different types, and then there are a lot of subtypes, and this can be a good base to see what direction your style can go in. On one hand, I find it interesting. I think it's a really fascinating study, and I love that someone took the time to notice these differences in the kinds of women, physically speaking, and what they wore slash look best in. But also, I really think it's important not to limit yourself and to wear what you like to wear. And although I think finding something that flatters you can be really beneficial, and finding your style and finding what you're comfortable in, it should not be limiting. You should not only wear skinny jeans because you think they suit your figure better. Like if you want to wear something baggier despite it not suiting your body type or your style, your Kibbe type or whatever, I think that's a pity and that's silly. But I thought it'd be interesting to bring this in here to see to what extent they actually follow their Kibbe guidelines, and most of them tend to. Jane Birkin's go-to looks are denim and a blouse. As I said, she has this good mix of something more casual. She has beautiful jeans. She always has very nice jeans. and something more girly, a bit boho. She really embodies her time period was this. Lots of high-waisted flare jeans. So we see she also ran was her times again, as I've said, which is so normal. We see this again. It's definitely a trend that the it girls of fashion take trends and put their own spin on it, and Jane is no exception. Mrs. Birkin is no exception. And she had this really cool mix between aesthetics, with being like boho flair and preppy at the same time. Lots of Ralph Lauren esque looks we see. And then one thing that so suits her is the look of a mini dress or a short dress and boots. And what I really like about Jane's style is she had this really interesting play with being sexy. She was known for being scandalous in the movie she made, in the newspaper she was in, and in the song she sung. She was very much known for her charm, to put it in one way. I think she played with it so beautifully because she was not, there was always a little sexy element to her and something slightly exposed, as in a short dress, or she was a big fan of the naked dress. But it was this play between what you can and can't see, which I think Jane pulled off beautifully, and I think marked so many of us. And she always kept her own flair to the thing, for instance, with her baskets, her little basket bags, which were absolutely not in style, and which honestly probably very, very few other people could pull off other than Jane herself. But you have to be daring, I think, in order to be an it girl, in order to have like you can't be an it girl and wear the same thing everyone else wears. Or how will you stand out, you know? So I think she pulled that off really well, in the sense that so many of her outfits were not very extravagant and were nice jeans and a top, but she had this flair, she had this look with her bangs and her hair and her like melancholy vibe that really just drove it to the next level. And I wrote down key takeaways, which are more quotes, because I did a bit of research for this video and I thought this was interesting. I saw someone says, the Harper Bazaar said that she flirts with fashion, which I think makes so much sense and really captivates, no, and really encapsulates this play, as I said, of sexy and stylish and chic at the same time. Who, What, Where, by the way, I'll link all these articles down below, but Who, What, Where stated that cool girl energy is equivalent to cool girl style. And I think Jane really shows this, and she shows that there's so much more to the it girl than what they wear, but it's really how they carry themselves and this cool girl energy. And Jane pulled that off so well. And I think she did it so effortlessly and so naturally. And nowadays, where this is such a coined term, the cool girl energy, it's lost some of its value, and it's you can't really be cool. And I have such a dilemma with the cool girl energy because on one hand, I feel like if you're chasing it, it kind of ruins it. I don't know. And there's so much artificial coolness. And then how do we quantify coolness? How do we qualify coolness? I don't know. But it seems Jane had it all figured out. Moving on to our second cool girl, because she is definitely a cool girl as well. None other than Miss Bella Hadid, cool girl turned country, the fashion icon of our century, of our decade at least. But honestly, I think she'll be the one of our century. And so, type, as I mentioned, cool girl goes country. She's more on the feminine side, but she likes to add a bit of a masculine flair sometimes. She really knows how to balance the feminine masculine in her outfits, which I think is so beautiful and which she pulls off so seamlessly. In terms of Kibby, she'd be considered a soft dramatic, which is the very embodiment of glamour, elegance, and magnetic beauty. And I think I've never read a better description of Miss Hadid than this one. And I think this natural glamour in her looks also really allows her to wear these more masculine, boyish outfits without it necessarily looking like she's 12. She really pulls them off. You can see a very strong Y2K influence in her fashion sense, especially a couple years back. She's really shifted more to the country now. I feel like she's a bit more off the radar, although we've been seeing more of her since the Arabella drops. Miss Bella loves to experiment with different and very interesting silhouettes, which add to her outfits so much. There's so much silhouette in her outfits. Another thing I found very interesting is that there's always one body part showing. She really plays with this sexiness aspect, but again, similarly to Miss Birkin, it is not all on display. It tends to be either her stomach or her chest or her legs, but not all at once. And if someone can pull off a deep, deep V, it is definitely her. She looks so good. She looks so good. Oh my gosh, she looks so good. And one thing I found really interesting was Bella Hadid is this balance between taking on trends and being a trendsetter. This really shows that you can have your own sense of fashion all the while playing along with the trends at hand. We saw this was the Y2K influence, which was everywhere, but at the same time, she didn't sit in one aesthetic and she didn't let herself be the Y2K girl. She switched it up. There's a very flowy siren look to her night looks, lots of pinkish or nudish tones. I feel like those really bring out her striking features. Very deep V's, as I've mentioned, and yeah, this flowy, glamorous, elegant, and very dramatic look to her night outfits, which she pulls off so beautifully. Oh my gosh, in case you couldn't tell, I wish I was Bella Hadid. And yeah, the key takeaways for her is, as I've mentioned, she is a trendsetter all the while wearing trends. It feels like she doesn't necessarily strive to be completely different. She just knows what suits her and she runs with it, which is beautiful. And then Fashion Talk on Substack said she was the prettiest weird girl, which I think really sums it up. She's so daring in her outfit. She pulls off in one style, and then the next spotting, she'll be dressed completely differently, and it always works. It literally always works. Next, we will be looking at another cool girl, which is Zoe Kravitz. Zoe Kravitz is a bit more of a on the low it girl, but those who know. Again, in her type, I'd consider her laid back, this cool girl, and a really nice blend of rock and roll and minimalism. She really pulls off this balance. In the Kibby style, she's considered flamboyant Camille, which is the same as Jane Birkin. But despite having the same Kibby style, we see that they have vastly different aesthetics, vastly different looks. And I would define Zoe Kravitz's go-to outfits as blazer, straight jeans, and a sharp heel. So really this mix between cool and laid back, but a bit of sharpness, a bit of sexy feminine in there as well. She pulls off lots of long skirts, lots and lots of lace. I feel like Zoe Kravitz and lace really go hand in hand. And long skirts, tank tops, really this good blend of feminine and laid back, similar to what we saw with Jane Birkin, if I must remind you. And then her go-to night looks are dark, they're black, they're silk, and they're sexy. And then she loves to cover them with a big black jacket or blazer. Again, we find this really nice balance between the traditionally feminine and the traditionally masculine, which I think tends to be a key takeaway of the cool girl look, is this balance, this not overly masculine, not overly feminine, but this right in the middle mark. But right in the middle is different to each of our it girls. She's been dubbed the queen of cool girl casual, which I think really suits her. And nylon states, which I think is very valid for most of these girls, particularly Jane Birkin as well as Zoe Kravitz, is that her pieces are deceptively simple, but they're the best shirt with the best jeans and the best coat. And I think this is a key message that I've been sharing on my channel for the past couple months, and that is that invest in nice pieces and invest in pieces you feel confident in. When I say the best, it does not need to be Yves Saint Laurent, it does not need to be $600 and more. You can find good pieces at affordable prices, and at the end of the day, one nice pair of jeans is worth so much more and elevates your outfit so much more than four lousy pairs of jeans. And I think many of these girls showcase this because many of these girls have really go-to outfits and don't wear something vastly different and vastly crazy on a day-to-day. Yet they are it girls. They're known for their style. They're known for being cool. They're known for their amazing street style. And Zoe Kravitz is one of them. And finally, I saw this quote, which I think also needs to be said. Zoe Kravitz is one of the most genetically blessed little babies of her generation. We could not make this video and leave out the second most genetically blessed Nepo baby, which is Lily Rose Depp, none other than Miss Buttons to the top. Her type would be feminine, romantic, and Paris chic. I don't know if it is because she is French and the articles love this, but all the research I've done love to mention her Paris chic flair, which I definitely do see. I definitely see it, but I think Americans love the French chic, the Paris chic mystique a bit too much maybe, and they place too much importance on it. Where, you know what I mean? I don't know if you know what I mean, but I think it definitely does fit in her type. And in terms of Kibi looks, Kibi style, she is a soft classic, which is defined as naturally poised and elegant look, but benefit from styles that enhance their feminine softness, which Lily Rose Depp definitely does. As I mentioned, she is feminine, she is romantic, and she blends this with this more casual Parisian chic look. Her go-to looks are very light denim. She definitely plays more on the pastel side of colors, lots of crop pieces, lots of mini skirts and little tops, and romantic, beautiful necklines. She really has fun with necklines, and this is something I want to implement more. I think I believe a heart-shaped neckline can add so much to an outfit, and this can play into your style without wearing the same pieces over and over again. If you find pieces with similar necklines, that can become a defining feature in your style. Lots of 90s inspired look, and I have to mention the buttons, this kind of preppy look, which she pulls off really well. I mean, she is the head girl of Chanel. How are you going to be the head girl of Chanel and not have this more classical chic look to you? You need to. Um, Beautiful, beautiful woman. Also, Lily Rose Depp. Her key takeaway, I would take this with a grain of salt because I'm telling you, American newspapers and American magazines love to emphasize the French aesthetic, although I feel like most of them don't really understand it. But Lily Rose Depp can be defined as effortless, cool girl, blends Parisian chic with American street style. And yes, I think she is chic, timeless, and cool. I think we had to mention Kate Moss, who is slim and androgynous when it comes to a body type. Known for her heroin chic look, she is effortless and English grunge, and yet one of the most renowned models of the past decade. In terms of Kibi style, she is flamboyant natural, which is defined as a chic, free spirit with long line but blunt edges and noted angularity. I just noticed that all of our A girls had chic in their Kibi types. Maybe this can be interesting to investigate. We must see. Her go-to outfits were slip dresses, statement jackets, which really embodied this cool grunge look of hers, and a mix of feminine again and masculine pieces. I had noticed no like direct trend in her look, except for more muted colors. It seems that Kate Moss was not a fan of the brightest colors, and I think this definitely plays into her grunge, cool, like UK rock look, and lots of sheer pieces, which is her more feminine aspect. Beautiful, beautiful fashion icon as well. And she is dubbed as one of the most iconic supermodels in history, which I think is such a spectacular title for her and such a spectacular way to end this video on. I think looking at our It Girls and considering the fact that all of these were taken over different generations and women who lived in different corners of the world, there are some key takeaways that unite all of them. And these would be a style of one's own. Although few of them definitely played into trends, most of them definitely listened to their intuition, either theirs or their stylists. Let's be for real. All of these beautiful women tested the bounds of fashion, tested the bounds of what is considered conventional, and they made it work for them. I think the only way to be an it girl is to stand out, and the only way to stand out is to do something that is completely true to yourself. This, as mentioned, does not mean that you need to stay away from trends, that you can't even look in the direction of what's popular at the moment. No, trends exist for reasons. Trends cycle and trends move with society, with what's going on politically and culturally. But trends should not be a guiding star either in your fashion sense. There is some autonomy, which is so important in order to have your sense of style. Furthermore, I think most of these women show that very often less is more, and a casual approach to fashion can lead to the best results. It is not because an outfit is simple that it is boring. I mean, Zoe Kravitz has to be has to prove this. She has to prove this. And finally, I think we can see that despite these girls trying different things, breaking the bounds, they did very often stick to what felt good to them. As I've mentioned before, and as I will never ever cease mentioning, you're never quite as cool looking or as beautiful as when you feel cool. And to feel cool, you must feel comfortable. And so it's very important to find I think the colors, the patterns, the cuts, the silhouettes that you feel confident in, and then find a way, a sustainable way to blend this into trends, blend this into the more epic outfits that you want to pull off. I was really, really, really fond of the research I did for this video, and I have a couple more it girls in mind to analyze, and maybe we can go deeper in this subject. Let me know if this would be something that would interest you. Let me know if any it girls also that you would like me to talk about. I'm thinking Iris Law. I'm thinking Brigitte Bardot. Let me know. I hope to see you soon. Thank you for being here. Also, and I know I've said this so many times, PSA, we have a closet tour coming in at some point soon. I promise. There's some logistics barriers that I have broken. Thank you so much for being here. I love you so much. See you soon.